Don Berna, lived with his family in the mining town of Angania, Michoacan. He was a farmer and shopkeeper. He could read, write and do arithmetic. In those days he was considered a well-educated man. That was in 1916. He had lived there a long time when he decided to change his place of residence. It was time to try new airs, so he bought a farm near the city of Tuxpan, with a house that had everything he wanted, a big oven to bake bread and a good stove to cook and bake tortillas, enough rooms for all his children and a pleasant room for his wife and himself, plus 6 hectares to plant cows, horses and chickens. Although it was a very old house, it looked like new. The former owner had lived in it only a few months. The house was surrounded by beautiful gardens and an area of lovely trees with benches and swings. The only fault was that on the main entrance there were 2 stone steps, and one of the stones would move slightly whenever someone went in or out. But that was not a big problem. They got used to it very rapidly. They enjoyed a good life, him and his family, and in a short time, Don Berna, as he was called by everyone, was appointed judge in the very city of Tuxpan, and he remained for some years in that position. This city was close to the farm and he could get back and forth on his horse in a short time across the short distance. After some time, because of his competence in that job, he was offered the position of administrator in a hacienda, and although it was some distance from his house it was worth it. The pay was good and had additional benefits. He had that job for several years, and as his savings increased he decided to quit, sell his farm and move to a larger city, where he bought a third of a block in a well-to-do neighborhood as well as a ranch of more than 80 hectares in the outskirts. The old house and the farm in Tuxpan he sold to a very humble man who could not pay him in full, so there was an amount of money left outstanding. Soon the new dwellers got used to the shaking stone in the steps, but after a few weeks one of the sons decided to fix it. He bought all the necessary supplies and made some mortar so that set the stone in place. He removed it, set it aside, cleaned the cavity and looked for the best way to pour the mortar in, when he was left speechless. In the hole protruded the mouth of a clay pot. He cleaned the dirt on it and through the dust he could see the shine of many gold coins. In his mind there was only one thought, to settle his father's debt. Don Berna led a full life. His wife that day had prepared a stew of nopals with pork in a sauce made by hand in the molcajete with tomatoes and hot green peppers, plus free-range eggs scrambled with fresh trulls grilled on a whitewashed clay camal, tortillas made by hand and cooked on the same camal, beans, agua de Jamaica, nice and cold, followed by fruit, and to finish properly, a cup of café de alla. The gold coins had not been meant for Don Berna and his family.